So today I want to do a quick video on insulin resistance, okay? And this is a metabolic disorder. So basically, when we eat, our food gets broken down and turned into glucose, and that goes in to the bloodstream. Once this happens, the pancreas gets acknowledged, and it creates these beta cells down here that produces the hormone insulin. So now insulin is going to get released, and these receptors, before you go into the cell, are going to be, or should be, insulin sensitive, okay, and insulin responsive. So glucose is traveling in the bloodstream. Insulin picks it up, goes to these cells. These cells sends acknowledgement back to the pancreas to say, hey, we received the insulin, glucose in the cells, and the job is done. Job well done. However, when you're dealing with a condition of insulin resistance, what tends to happen is these receptors, okay, start getting inflammation or plaque around them, disrupting the signaling back to the pancreas. So the pancreas keeps on sending insulin into the bloodstream. So now your bloodstream is getting overwhelmed, not just with glucose, but with insulin. Okay? And the pancreas keeps pumping out insulin because the cells are not replying back to the pancreas to say, hey, we got insulin, it's fine. It does eventually, but what this can do is not just set you off as insulin resistance, right, which leads to a whole bunch of other symptoms, right? It also can develop where insulin, without the trigger or the needing of glucose, insulin can be highly elevated in the bloodstream, and then you have a condition called hyperinsulinemia. Hyperinsulinemia is where insulin on its own, independently, without glucose, is highly elevated in the bloodstream. The characteristics of this is critical, okay? And it could lead to things like atherosclerosis, kidney failure, affects type 2 now, can start turning into type 3, which then will affect neurological degeneration of the brain, where the brain turns from insulin sensitive to insulin resistance, right? All because of this insulin resistance leading to this hyperinsulinemia. It is definitely something that you need to be mindful with. So, how do we reverse insulin resistance? I'm going to leave the link in the comments below to my webinar that I did about blood sugar levels and the impact that blood sugar has. And when you go and you check out the webinar, I give you all the tips on how to reverse insulin resistance, okay? Because it's easy, as well as type 2 diabetes, okay? This is not a problem if it gets addressed and handled the correct way. All right, you know my motto? Save it, share it, and follow me for more information.